Welcome back to Northwind Aerial, the channel where we answer questions you didn't know you had, at least as long as it pertains to drones or farming mostly, but today we are combining both of them. Behind me, I have a lovely jack-o'-lantern that my wife was so kind enough to carve, and she mistakenly thought that I had her carve all of these jack-o'-lanterns for the kids' enjoyment tonight, and boy was she wrong, because we're going to see how do these jack-o'-lanterns look with various flammable substances in them. We're of course going to start off with the standard candle just to see how the heat dissipates from inside of the pumpkin. After that, maybe we'll bump it up to a couple different candles, and who knows, maybe we'll dump some flammable liquid into it. Maybe I'll dispose of some fireworks from 4th of July inside it and see how it all looks. Who knows? My mind is an enigma and it's filled with whimsy, so we'll just kind of do whatever we wish. So in order to get an idea of what is going on with the thermal energy inside of this jack-lantern, we're going to be using probably one of my most used drones on the channel, the DJI Mavic 3T. It has a great widescreen camera to take great videos and photos, very good 56x zoom camera, and of course a thermal imaging sensor. Most thermal imaging sensors are used to help locate people who are missing or see through the smoke of a fire to help ascertain how to help people. We're going to use it today to see how much damage we can do to pumpkins and see what is going on with all of that heat inside of them. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so our first test is we're going to be taking one of these standard candles and putting it inside the jack-lantern to let it cook, see how much it really warms up the pumpkin, see if we can really see if anything comes out of it. Alright, I'll admit, I'm lying to you guys. I already put one of these in here because I forgot to hit the record button. You'd think after a year and a half, 2 years of doing this, I'd remember to look for the blinking red light, but not yet. So there's already been one burning in there for quite some time. I've been watching the camera. It hasn't really heated up that much. So we're going to go ahead and pop in 2. Alright, that third candle was not wanting to light, so let's see what 2 do. Alright, so looking at the drone camera, we definitely are starting to get some heat. You can see some fluctuations of the heat coming through his nose and out through his left eye or right eye. Left eye as it's facing us. Let's see how that looks over on white hot. That's definitely pretty freaky. Go back to tint. That's quite a bit freaky. And let's check how it looks on the wide spectrum. Not nearly as cool. Let's go ahead back over to the thin one and let's start feeding in some stuff to see if we can really get some flame coming out. Alright, so first things first, let's try and see how much heat we can generate with a newspaper. Speaking of which, you should really get a subscription to your local newspaper. When local newspapers are gone, they're really going to be not that many people to report on the goings-on of your town. And that is what really matters at the end of the day, is what is happening in your town. And they also make great fire starters, so let's see how much heat they throw off. Of course, I had to pick the one that didn't have a handle on top. There we go, that should be good. Oh yeah, there we go. We got some black flame coming out of his skull sockets now. See how that looks on. Let's see how that looks on the big band, on the wide band. Nah, not all that cool. That was a pretty cool little bit of shrapnel coming out of there. Let's flip back over. Now that's freaky. Oh, you can see the wisps of smoke coming off of him. And And the little embers too. All right, so one cool thing you can kind of see happening here is, yeah, there's heat coming out, but he's not really burning. And that is because there's really no airflow going through it. There's air coming in, but it doesn't have a chance to escape. So similar to like what we do at the fire department, let's pop the chimney and see if we can vent some of that heat. There we go. Now you can see a lot more oxygen coming in and burning. All that heat should be going up through the top of him now. Let's check that on the thermal. Oh yeah, now we've got a flaming skull on our hands. Short break before we get to our next test, which will honestly work out because it's gonna get darker, it's gonna get spookier. But I gotta pick up my mother-in-law from work, have dinner, and then we'll be right back at it. I'm back. And it's a lot more spooky now. It is pitch black and starting to rain. It is literally a dark and stormy night. All right, we're gonna move through these next couple of tests really quickly. We're going to see what liquid fuel, such as gasoline, would do to a lit pumpkin. I'm hoping to get it shooting out the eyes and mouth. We'll see. And then we're going to get rid of some fireworks and see if we can blow up this pumpkin. And if the pumpkin's still alive after that, let's see how much heat transfer a 12-gauge shotgun can make to it, huh? All right. Eye protection's on. Remember, kids, don't do this at home. Uncle Tim is a trained professional. Let's do a little bit more than that, huh? We can do a little bit more. And we're gonna swap over to our wideband while we're at it. All right, a little bit more fuel going in. Seeing how it looks on the wideband. That's what I was going for. All right, let's go ahead and swap that over to the narrow band and see how it looks like. Oh, that poor pumpkin. See how he looks like in white hot. Oh, that's perfect. All right, the rain is actually really starting to come in now. Let's hurry up and dispose of these fireworks and wrap this up because our poor pumpkin fell over too. All right, can't wait to see how that turned out on the thermal. What do you think? Should we put old Jack here to bed? Is it a tune of a 12 gauge? I think so. All right, that's gonna do it for this Halloween special of Northwind Aerial. Kind of a fun little show off of how well the thermal imaging camera works on silliness. Now, let's all say goodnight to Mr. Jack-o'-lantern, and I hope you all have a fantastic Halloween day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.